Welcome everybody to the InThePitsNews Truck Series. We're here live at Richmond Raceway here on JCTV. I'm Josh Copperell. I'm joined in the booth by good buddy Ryan Samuelson and Brian Haynes. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you guys self? How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Josh, thanks for having Ryan and I out here tonight.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this one. It's been a long time since I've been able to commentate one of these races and watch these guys race here tonight. Forward to it. Should be an exciting one. We got short track action here at Richmond Raceway, like I said. These guys, they waited a week to race it. This race was supposed to be last week, but here we are today.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they had to wait a week, but it looks like they got plenty of trucks here. It's going to be a good show. I think we all have our favorites, but I think this could be wide open with a little bit smaller field.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Got a lot of great competition here. Got Alonso Chicano, got Eric Weinland, got Carl Felver, all these guys. Great racers, great in the trucks. Can't wait to watch.
And, you know, a lot of these guys, like you said, they are really ones to watch tonight. We got probably the favorite, Alonso Chicano, last year's champion. Eric Weinland, who's running in the trucks for points. So a little bit of news here. Earlier this week, the Galaxy Cup Series shut its doors. The InThePitsNews Truck Series was the Galaxy InThePitsNews Truck Series, but they have actually became a feeder series to the Clutch Drop Cup Series. So since Galaxy Cup Series is no longer a thing right now, the Truck Series admins, they want to keep going and not have to have the same fate as the Cup side of things. So they were planning on keeping going, whether or not they did become a feeder series of another league or not. But they actually did find the Clutch Drop Cup Series to be a feeder series for. So some big news this week. So this is no longer the Galaxy InThePitsNews Truck Series, just the InThePitsNews Truck Series. So like Eric Weinland, he had been running for points all season long, where he was a Cup driver last year. But yeah, this would be a really exciting race.
Yeah, it's really tough when you have those deals go down where a league has to shut its doors. I mean, it's just like in the real world, any type of racing series. You got to keep participation up and got to keep getting guys and gals out to the track, and it's a challenge. I know, Ryan, you know firsthand trying to admin and run a league. I only run a small league for a guys' night, but you know, these leagues that are heavily promoted it's a tough deal, and I'm glad that this league, the former Galaxy Trucks League, has found a new home with the Drop Clutch Cup Series, and hopefully it'll bolster their numbers here and keep them going.
Yeah, it's sad to hear all that news. I had some great memories in the Galaxy Cup Series last year when I was a part of it. I had some great memories of that. A lot of the other tracks, not necessarily this one. But other than that, you know, it's a shame for it to happen. But on to the future, man.
Well, we move on into qualifying real quick. Who's your guys' picks to win tonight? Who do you think is going to be able to get it done?
I'm gonna pick my buddy Carl Felver. He runs with me in another league, and we just had a race here last week. And up until some connection issues, he was top 5, top 3 the entire race. So and he was third on the charts in practice. So I'm looking forward to watching him out there today. I think he's got a chance.
Yeah, Ryan, I think that's a good pick, but I'm going to go a little deeper in the field as far as practice times go, and I'm going to keep my eye on Alex Princeton and Cam Caldwell, based off of their previous experience here a couple weeks ago at Richmond. I feel like Alex had a really strong long run truck. I think Cam had a good short run truck, but kind of tailed off a little bit mid run. So hopefully maybe he's figured that out. But I think I'm going to go with Alex Princeton. I think he's going to surprise some folks tonight and be up there contending for the top spot.
And I am actually going to go with Alonzo Chicano. I think he's a fast driver, really, really smart, and I've been able to see him get it done before. I think he's going to be able to get another win on JCTV tonight.
Certainly a good one to go with there, Josh. He picked up the win in the Juggernaut Series a couple weeks ago. Really had a stout truck, but like I said, I think with a smaller field tonight, I think it opens things up a little bit.
So for the trucks that were able, there's some drivers here that ran in that Richmond race last week. Do you think a lot of these guys have an advantage coming in tonight, knowing how their cars can behave here later throughout the race? Alonso Chicano won that race and dominated. He's probably not thinking change anything. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But some other guys like Princeton, Felver, and Knoll, and Landrum, and even Caldwell are probably thinking, hey, I got a little bit of advantage on these other guys. I know how the cars can behave. I know how the race pace is. What do you guys think?
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Ryan. And sometimes when you're the guy that wins and leads a majority of the laps like Chicano did, you're right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But those other guys, Landrum, Caldwell, Princeton, they all had fast trucks at different points in the run, and hopefully they went back to the garage and they tuned on it. And I think that's going to give them a little bit of an advantage as this race unfolds. So I think that extra time, that extra race before this one, huge benefit to all those drivers.
Here we see Alex Princeton taking his qualifying laps. Currently P7 on the board in his first lap. Coming around turn 3 and 4. His lap time should improve, and he might just jump up the board. Alex Princeton up to 4th, driver out of PBR stable.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that their qualifying times are probably going to be a tenth or two faster than some of the times we saw in practice, but the race pace is going to drop considerably from that when you put all these trucks in a tight pack, and we're going to have some comers and goers pretty quick. You might see some guys that fall off a little bit at the beginning because they're set up for the longer run, and you're probably going to see some really take off, but we'll know in short order if they've got a short run car or they've got something for the long run.
So Eric Weinland spinning on his second lap, so looks as though he's currently P11 out of 11 that have taken the time. Now we're watching Carl Felver on his second lap, currently P9 on the board. And that's going to put him on the pole so far.
I don't think anyone's beating that. From what we saw last week, Alonso was the strongest car in the field, and for someone out qualifying like that, it's actually very impressive at this track.
Yeah, especially with track temps still hovering around 109 degrees, it's really hard to get the right grip you need to turn a blistering fast lap. So that's impressive lap by Carl Felver.
So Carl Felver is going to be the pole award winner, just beating Alonzo Chicano by 3/1000ths of a second. 21.980 was Carl Felver's time.
You know what I'm really interested in tonight is, because we've got a smaller amount of cars in the field, we're looking like we got 17. But uh, if they're going to have long green flag runs, I think Ryan, we had a really long one towards the end, and a bunch of us elected to not pit. Chicano was one of them. I was one of them, and really try and stretch that run out, hoping for a late caution. But it'll be interesting to see how drivers respond to that if they end up short pitting at the end or splitting that last stage in half if they get a long green flag run.
Yeah, I fell under the strategy of trying to short pit that longer green flag run because I didn't think I was gonna make enough fuel, and that late caution ended up hurting me for the run. So it's pick or choose. Again, we're still at a short track, so there's still the potential for an easy, quick caution. So you always gotta be wary for that. But you gotta keep track of your tires, man, how the car feels, and when you got pit, you got pit.
It's
So
there's definitely a sweet spot that your truck is gonna fall off, but I found mine came back to me a little bit. But sorry, Josh, I think I cut you off there.
that's all right. I was just gonna ask. So Brian, you have some truck experience. Uh, how different are the trucks from the Cup cars? Like we've had Cup cars quite a bit on JCTV. So what should we expect with these trucks?
Obviously the horsepower is a big difference between the two, especially when you come to short tracks. Your cup cars, they're going to get a lot more wheel spin potentially off the corner, but also the weight distribution of the trucks. They're a little bit more top heavy, a little bit lighter in the back, which is still going to give you quite a bit of wheel spin coming off of both of these corners here at Richmond, because they still put a considerable amount of power down at this track. So you're going to see obviously slower lap times than you see if we were watching a cup race. But I feel personally, and Ryan, you got experience in the Cup series, the previous Galaxy series, but I feel like when the tires wear off on these about mid run, they're actually not horrible to drive. If you got a good handle, they're not horrible to drive. Whereas with the Cup cars, when you really burn those tires off, and you got all that horsepower still hanging out there, they're just really, really a handful to drive.
Yeah, it's definitely a different feel than I feel like sometimes, especially the new packages at the different short tracks and the Cup cars, that I think I have more downforce and more grip in the trucks at these short tracks than I do in the Cup car.
I think downforce definitely plays a big part in the difference between these two, and it's considerable. You can feel the package in the Cup cars where it just feels like they're really stuck to the track. I mean, these first couple of laps for these guys tonight in the trucks are going to be a little hairy.
All I'm going to say is my pick is starting on pole right now. Hopefully Zarnet makes it through the race. Feeling pretty good right now.
So here we go. The pace truck is off. Carl Felver leads us to the green. Green flag is out.
Jump by Carl there. Kano was bringing it back on the outside. He wants to lead this first lap.
Yeah, the outside lane here at Richmond has been pretty dominant at times because you control the run off the guy on the inside. So as long as you stay there for a lap or two, you can get by them on the outside.
Somebody losing it back there, but it looks like it gathered it up. Yeah, you really do dictate that bottom line when you're up top. I know when I was racing Cam Caldwell, actually even when I was racing you, Ryan, a little bit, you were down underneath me, and I was able to kind of dictate where you came off the corner, and that can be an advantage, especially while you're waiting for your truck to come in.
Alonzo Chicano is able to pass Carl Felver for the lead on the outside. Now, I don't have truck experience myself, but something that I had gathered from racing in the Cup cars here is restarts the outside. You can gain a lot of positions on the outside on the restart seat. Like Alonzo did there, it looks like there's a lot of grip up top. And
Oh, we have a car in the grass on the front stretch. Sorry to cut you off there.
That's all right. It looks like it may have been Richard Chidester, the 23 truck.
Looks like my guy Alex Princeton's trying to make a move in here for fourth on Dave Fuge Jr.
Actually, it was Eric Weinland that spun.
Yeah, I think this point is, you really got to settle in, figure out where your truck's at, and whether you've got what it takes to be fast on the long run. Because being fast on the short run, unless it's 5 to go to the end of the race, isn't going to really help you much.
We have a pretty large gap. We have about like a second gap from the top two right now. Front two are pulling away. And right now, the top two are just matching lap times right now.
Pretty big battle here for second. You got a 4-car battle. Here you got Dave Fuge and or racing for third, I'm sorry, and Jeremy Bushi and Alex Princeton and Cam Caldwell. They're stacking them right up here.
These 4 trucks under a blanket, not really giving each other much room. Caldwell, he kind of sent it in a little bit into turn 1. Fuge, he gets loose off turn 2. Meanwhile, Jeremy Boucher is able to pull away. Now that's going to leave for 22, Dave Fuge and Cameron Caldwell side by side.
Princeton trying to make a move here on the 22 truck. Saw Caldwell make it work on the outside. Looks like he's going to try and follow suit.
Yeah, I'm just watching the 2 leaders and just trying to think. We know Alonso is fast as all get out here. But since we last saw Felver, he had the internet issue, and he showed some pace, but I wouldn't say this pace. So we wonder how hard is he going? Is he still going to be able to keep up with Alonso once the tires are wearing down? We got a 70-lap stage. The tires are still going to wear quite a bit during that.
It'll be interesting to see if Carl can keep that pace with Chicano. I mean, right now he's running about a 10th quicker than Chicano on my ticker here, so he's keeping really good pace with him. It's just like you said, if he can keep that up.
They are side by side for the lead. Chicano on the outside.
Yeah, Felver has to find a way to get to that top line. Alonso's just going to see a higher arc into the corner. He's just going to defend that middle-ish outside line where Felver gets a run.
So is the outside line kind of like, the preferred line to really be in if you are going to be side by side here? Because we've already seen like Cameron Caldwell, Alex Princeton pass on the outside, Alonso Chicano taking the lead from the outside, being able to defend off the lead from Carl Felver trying to take the lead there from the outside. Is the outside really kind of where you think you want to be here to make passes or keep a position?
Well, it's just like you want to control. It's an oval racing. It's very key. Your exits on corner is one of the most crucial parts to how you drive and how your car is set up. If you can get that exit down, you're doing great. But when you have the opportunity to control someone's exit because you are dictating, the bottom line can't get to the throttle as quick as they want to with someone there, or else they risk the chance of them wrecking or both of them wrecking and ending the race.
Yeah, I think earlier in the run here, the outside is definitely where you want to be. I found that, much deeper into a run, and I'm saying about 50, 60 laps in, at least the way I had my truck set up, I definitely wanted to get to the inside of somebody, and if I could, then at that point I could control from there. But again, it's how your truck's set up, where you're most comfortable. But definitely the outside is going to dictate what that inside lane does.
I think overall, passing, you want to be on the outside. Driving around, you drive the inside lane. It's the shortest way around. It's the fastest way around. It's just like I said, this track is so exit dependent that if you have no drive off, you have nothing here. I've been in races here at this track where I have no grip on exit, and I go from second place all the way down to 15th in a matter of 3 laps. That's how crucial exit is here.
Yeah, you'll see guys here, especially out of 4, even late in a run, they'll be spinning at the start-finish line, and the exit here for the corners is from the end of the corner all the way onto the straightaway is the entire length of the exit. Whereas some tracks, you know, once you're through the end of the corner, you're good. But this track definitely off of both 2 and 4. You got to be hanging on to it all the way till you're on that straightaway, and then the straightaway's over and you're going into the next corner. See Alex Princeton making some ground here on Cam Caldwell. Again, both drivers that I picked. So it looks like they have pretty good speed here. They're ticking it off pretty good. We'll see how it goes as the track temp comes down and they get later in the run.
I think someone we do actually have to watch is the 73 truck of Jeremy Boucher. He's been running their lap times, maybe about a 10th off every couple of laps, but he's kind of in the same pace as they are. If we come to a caution and he gets a good restart, I think he'll be right up there with them.
Yeah, agree with you. I agree with you on that one, Ryan. I've been watching his lap times and very impressive right there. That lap, almost a tenth quicker.
Yeah, he caught them a little bit. I mean, like a 10th of a lap, maybe. As things have kind of settled out throughout the whole field.
A straightaway away from some lap traffic here for our leaders.
Now, when they get to that, it's going to be very crucial for how they maneuver that. You can win or lose this race in lap traffic.
Absolutely, because at this point their tires are already starting to go away. They're not driving as good as they were, and even though you're faster than these lap trucks, if you catch them in the wrong place, it can just totally kill your momentum. Where would you say, Ryan, is the best place to catch a lap truck here?
Best place, you want to catch them either on the backstretch or like entry where they already know. Where you already know their line. It's when they catch you in a weird position like the middle of a corner or exit, because you've already determined your line, they've already determined their line. So if you meet them at the awkward point of when you guys are trying to finish your driving line, it's going to create like a mess that you're going to get caught up in lap traffic.
Here we see Alonso actually catching up to the number 13 of Graham Langkamp. Great on exit of turn 2, but him and Carl Felver were able to get around that 13 truck pretty easily.
And I think that illustrated what Ryan was talking about, being able to get off the corner here. You know, you can have a truck that works really well getting into the corner, but we saw there the 13, he couldn't get off the corner, whereas Chicano and our second place truck, Carl Felver, their trucks are getting off the corner, and they made up a ton of ground right there at the end of turn 2, and it almost caught him in a bad spot.
You kind of see the 99 trying different corner entries. He's having a higher arc, then he's dropping it down low into 4. Not this lap, but the lap before I noticed he was having a higher arc and then trying to double apex it a little bit in the corners. Trying anything to get around, try to find some way, some gain on Alonso. Because they've been stagnant at 0.3 of a second for the past 20-ish laps.
And they're clicking off really comparable lap times. I'm really impressed with this pace out of Carl Felver so far.
Helmet cam view from Carl Felver. Yeah, you definitely see, you know, like exactly what Carl Felver is seeing here. He's entering higher into turn 1 and trying to exit lower. Turns 3 and 4, he's kind of entering about the same, but being able to stay on the yellow line a lot longer than Chicano is.
Yeah, Chicano looks like he's really just letting that truck go where it wants to go. He's getting it in nice and easy, and just letting the truck nice and easy ride up off the corner, and you're not seeing the rear end break free on it, and you can tell he's very much in control of that truck. and that's important too. I mean, you know, if you're not cranking on that wheel and burning up those tires any more than you need to, and you do it in a couple of ways. It's cranking on that wheel, driving in hard, mashing the gas, and spinning those rear tires. Or all those things are going to eat away at that tire, and you're going to have a lot less at the end. But it doesn't look like Chicano's really cranking on that wheel or mashing on the gas, just being really smooth and consistent.
Kind of see Felver pushing it. I've noticed off exits he's getting the rear end of the car is coming out a little bit because he's just trying to find anything he can get to Alonso with.
Yeah, I noticed that last time through 4 that he did step sideways quite a bit, and that's really going to hurt the tires over a long run. And as we see here now, Chicano, he is very slightly starting to pull away from Carl Felver, and so I'm wondering here if it's just, you know, Felver started to really burn his stuff up, and that's allowed Chicano to pull away, or if Chicano's maybe pushing a little bit harder. We're almost halfway through the stage. Stage 1.
73 truck there was making some ground, but it looked like he kind of blew turns 1 and 2 there.
He's still about a tenth faster. I mean, maybe not this lap, but he's about a tenth or two faster than the leaders right now. That one he lost about 3 tenths, but this he's catching them.
Yeah, it's tough when the trucks start to make that transition, and it almost catches you off guard. You know, you'd be running into the corners the same every single lap, and then all of a sudden you go into the corner the same, and the truck won't respond, and it'll be, in most cases, a lot tighter, and it'll wash up the track on you, and you got to start adjusting, you know, your line. And I think that that's something that we had to do in our race, Ryan, is, you know, you got to start adjusting your lift and brake points, and as you're documenting with Carl, you know, search around for that grip and that speed.
Ooh, that was a little bit of a pucker moment with the lap car and Alonso. That's, like I was telling, that's an awkward moment to catch a lap car off the exit in the middle of the corner. Very awkward spot and position to be if you're in Alonso. That allowed Felver to catch back up to Alonso.
Just a little bit. Still has a few truck lengths between them.
These short tracks, you know, Martinsville, Richmond, Bristol, if your truck is not working well and you're a lap truck already in stage 1, I mean, it's kind of a helpless feeling because you're kind of limited on the changes you can make in the pits. There's certainly some you can make to help make your night better, but it's a tough position to be in when your truck isn't working like the rest of them.
Yeah, I got to listen to the whole struggle of that firsthand with my teammate last week. He said the right front went away real quick, and so listening to him on the radio was a very intriguing listen. Watching him complain, and there's not one like, yeah, you have pit road adjustments. This is an open set league. You can adjust, you can change tire pressures, you can change tape and ride height a little bit, but there's not going to be enough to really change. You can't get out of the car and change the right front camper because that's already set once you get in the car for this race.
So I just happened to notice Cameron Caldwell sitting in 13th position here. He has some damage. He had lost 8 positions just a few laps ago. It's 8 positions in 1 lap, so not exactly sure what happened to Cameron Caldwell, driver of the number 12 here, but he definitely come out on the wrong end of something. Doesn't look
Cameron, don't do that to me. I picked you as one to watch, buddy. Come on. Hopefully you can get that thing squared away.
Yeah, your backup pick is up there, so.
Yeah, he's still doing good. I still think Alex got a good shot towards the end, but I mean the pace that Chicano and Felver have, I mean if it keeps up like this, these guys are going to need to throw everything they have at it.
Throw everything in the kitchen sink, as they say.
And now Ryan, you know, you mentioned it's an open setup league, a lot like ours, and for folks out there that maybe don't know what that means, you know, the difference between fixed and open. there's a considerable amount of work that goes into it with these drivers and teams every week to get setups for these races, right?
Oh yeah, there's a considerable amount. I know my fellow Tula Gabins like Carl and Craig. They tell me all the time about how much work they're putting in for weeks, for each week in a short amount of time. Because when we race on Wednesdays, we got like 3 days. You got like a week, but you got the weekend. So, but yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it because we have to fine tune this. You can't run the truck for about 10 laps and be like, okay, that's good. You have to run it for a long run. You have to be 20 to 60, 70 laps. You have to see how the car handles, and you can change so much factors. It's very difficult because once you change one aspect of the car, you just affected a whole other aspect, and you have to go out and see it and practice and see how the car feels. There's a lot of practice time and a lot of prep time required in open set leagues, whereas in the fix, you're just driving the iRacing assigned setup, and you can just practice that, see how to drive that, and that doesn't take as long to prepare for as an open set league.
Now, Ryan, I'd also like to throw on there, practicing for an open setup league, all that practice time, a lot of like the weather in sim plays a very key factor into your setup as well, how it's going to handle. So if your car is handling perfect and say right now we've got 107-degree track temp, so if your car or truck rather is handling perfect in 107-degree track temp, it could be handling so different in 99 or 80-degree track temp. So there is so much more practice as well, trying to figure out, okay, if the track temp is in between this number and this number, we'll run this version of the setup. Or if it's over, track temp is hotter, this is what I prefer to run. So, fixed setup, again, you don't really get that opportunity to change anything. So even with the weather playing into the factor of how the truck or car is going to feel, you still don't get to play around with that with a fixed setup like you would with an open setup.
Also, the track itself, the track where with the open set leagues, you're typically doing a lot of open set races in general. You're typically doing a lot more laps on track where the track starts to wear down. There's a lot more rubber on the track, and that starts to affect the handling and on the car. Instead of doing 30 laps like the fixed races, you're doing 90, 100 laps in open races.
It's a lot, and even when you have teammates, as Ryan and I do, different schedules, not everybody has time, but then you also have different driving styles. And what we know from on my team with BK Motorsports, we don't all drive the same, and what works for me might not work for some of my other drivers. And then you have to try and work that into it and go out there and then do those 30, 40, 50 lap runs and see if the change that you made is actually going to work. So it's a lot of time, it's a lot of prep, which is why you see guys get pretty animated at some of these races when things don't go their way.
Yeah, you put all that time in this, and then lap 30, you're done for the race. You either something happened, something with another racer, or you just personally messed up yourself. I know it's a lot more stressful when you do these races. To me, when someone else or something else, some other circumstance causes you to wreck or lose out, because that's out of your control. You even get more frustrated yourself too, because you had control of the scenario, you messed up.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, Chicano, I think we're getting to the point of the run where he's really flexing his muscle right now with almost a 1.5 second lead over Carl Felber. And I've been watching back here around 5th and 6th place and seeing the 97 of Mike Tellier catching up to the 9 of Alex Princeton. So he's showing some good speed here late in this run.
Yeah, you wonder, he's teammates with Alonso, so he's maybe having some advice from, learning some advice from him, saying, hey, Alonso, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? We all know Alonso's a great tire saver, and he's, like, I wonder if teammates are trying to, like, hey, how the heck are you saving all this tire in the track and you're pulling away, you're up near a 2-second gap on a guy who was pulling the same lap times you were pushing it. So you gotta wonder if they're asking for advice right now, and that's, whatever it is, it's helping him catch up Princeton for a top 5.
Yeah, saving tires is like I tell everybody on my team that's just coming into it that here's some tips and tricks as far as throttling and braking to help out, but it really comes down to a feel thing. You've got to, it's hard. It's not something that you can just tell somebody and they can go out and do. It's something you got to practice. And as you said, Chicano's doing a really good job saving his stuff and pushing it when he needs to. But I mean, it's looking like they're going to run this whole stage on this set of tires as we look at 11 to go here in the stage.
It looks like it. I can tell you, probably about 10 or 15 laps ago, probably even more than that, the drivers were like, someone spin out. They're sick of being on these tires right now. And they're probably thinking, I need that pit stop. I need new freshies. I need new Goodyear rubber.
Well, we actually have one driver on pit road right now. It's going to be the number 14 of Dylan Stipe.
Maybe a little bit of a strategy play here to get some. Oh, he's a couple laps down. I thought he was still on the lead lap, but.
The only time I believe short pitting would help you is if you're at road course, because it's not enough time to get lapped at a road course. Yeah, short track, there's no point in trying to short pit for a guaranteed caution when you're going to be stuck a couple laps down.
Especially the way it's looking right now, that these are going to be long green flag runs. You need every spare lap of freshness on those tires. That almost everywhere we go with these trucks, they're so tire dependent. Some tracks obviously more than others, but you definitely want as much tire for as long as you can. The 97 looks like he really wants that 5th place from Alex Princeton here as we get ready to close out the stage the next 6-7 laps.
I'm also watching the battle for a third. Eric Weinland has caught the 73 of Jeremy Boucher.
We say Eric Weinland got a little squirrely at the beginning. That's pretty impressive for him to make the run back. But yeah, he's definitely pressuring Jeremy Boucher for third.
So actually, I do believe that it was the 23 that was around on lap 2. And when I had went back to the replay and it showed Eric Weinland spun, I think it might have went all the way back to his qualifying lap. So I do not believe that Eric Weinland did spin out in the race, because he is up to P4, and yes, he is pounding on the bumper of Jeremy Boucher.
I thought Jeremy kind of tagged the wall there a little bit at the end of the front straightaway, so he's definitely screaming for fresh rubber.
At this pace, I think Alonso is on pace to pass his teammate. You got with about 6 laps to go in the stage, coming to 6 to go. Coming to 5 to go. For 4 to go. My apologies. Coming to 4 to go in stage, and he's probably the lap his teammate. You wonder if he can get to him. Will he pass him or just hey, he's my teammate. Let him stay on the lead lap.
Caldwell's got his hands full there right now.
Yeah, I think he's battling a super massive car. It looks very tight to me because I watched the replay and he came off the corner and sideswiped the wall off of 4.
Looks like a little right rear damage there. He's just nursing it up off the corner.
Yep.
Maybe hoping that his teammate doesn't put him a lap down.
If Chicano does put Cameron Caldwell a lap down, the next driver that Alonso would have to put a lap down would be the 07 of Bacon Zelenka, who is entering turn 3 right now. So there's a big distance between them. I don't expect, you know, even if Caldwell goes a lap down, he'd be the lucky dog position.
Yeah, we're at 1 to go. It's not gonna happen.
Tell you what, these other guys better hope that we have some shorter runs, because Chicano's killing them by 0.2 of a second here every lap, and it's just a beatdown at this point.
So the green-white checkered is flying. Alonso Chicano is going to be the stage winner.
Really an impressive first stage there for Alonso.
So Princeton's going to be able to hang on to 5th place. No, I'm sorry. Dakota Knoll took 5th place. Caution is out. So Alonso Chicano, he is no stranger to winning things on JCTV. He claims another stage point, or 10 stage points, and a playoff point. Drivers coming down to pit road, and I expect them all to take 4 tires and fuel. I don't expect anybody here to try any kind of strategy.
No, not at all. This is early in the race. You got to have all the fuel and the tires. And one thing that I've noticed in the trucks, maybe more so over the Cup cars, is you know, especially here where the truck has a tendency to get tight, having that pendulum weight and that fuel cell behind the rear axle really helps rotate the car midway through the run. Because if you're set up for the long run, you're going to be pretty free in the beginning, but you kind of need that fuel back there to help bring the rear end of the truck around.
Well, let's go ahead and bring in our stage winner, Alonso Chicano. Hey Alonso, it's Josh up in the JCTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, Josh. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Well, you put on a clinic there in stage 1, dominating it, taking the lead very early with a great pass on the outside. You know, I noted earlier in the race that something I had caught on from racing the Cup cars is that the outside has a lot of grip on the restarts. Is that something that you know, we'll see here tonight? A lot of restarts. Outside is really a place to execute.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, like, the outside is really good on exit, especially when you're next to someone. If you're on their outside, you can get a really good exit. So yeah, if you're on the bottom, you just it's hard to get a run off, especially when you get tight. Like, just don't kind of run out of room when you have a truck on the outside.
So you know, as far as tire strategy goes, guys went the full distance of stage 1, with not coming down the pit road, get any rubber or anything. If it continues to stay green, do you anticipate that's just kind of the way it's going to look tonight?
Taking the outside. Yeah, I mean, for these 2 stages, I mean, I don't think it's really worth coming in for tires. I think you can make it work pretty easily, especially with their lengths. And sorry, I pretty sure that's what you asked. Eric was talking, so I was trying to focus on you, but I think that's what you asked.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you get back up there as you're about to go back green. So,
all right, thank you very much.
was stage winner Alonso Chicano. And
just in no time here on the start, he got a good jump on Carl Felver in the 99. And Eric Weinland's putting some pressure on Carl right here into turns 1 and 2.
yeah, so that was a very nice restart there by Chicano. Like you said, he did choose the outside for that restart.
I feel like Carl showed really good pace, and if he's going to have any shot, he's going to have to get ahead of Chicano here and not use up his tires and see if he can run and hide for a little bit.
Yeah, if I was Felver, because it's going to be hard to get around Alonso. So save up your stuff. If Weiland, who's pressuring him from behind, wants to get by you, feel free by him, as long as you got to save your stuff, because that's what happened after about 20 or so laps. He had nothing.
Oof. Truck in the wall. I believe it was Dakota Home. Just kind of scraped the wall a little bit. Going to cost him a lot of positions. He was running 4th place.
You know who was really happy to see that safe caution? Cameron Caldwell. God, he hit the he hit the wall on lap 48. Was able to finally come down and get the damage repaired, avoid going a lap down, which was very important at that point. Fixed damage. He's back up. He's up to 4th right now.
Oh,
He's getting a lot of pressure from Chris Landrum there in the 20. He gave him a little bump in the back, but kind of screwed him up coming off the 4. And he's going to slip back a little bit to Alex Princeton in the 9.
back up front. Weinland, he is not going away. Definitely keeping Felver and Chicano honest here.
I think exactly what Ryan said. You know, you got to save your stuff, and everybody's a hero right now because they've got fresh rubber, and you got to make the decision quick. If you can do something with somebody, do it quick. Otherwise, you gotta save your stuff because you're just beating on it.
Watching the lap times, I want to see if Carl's maybe a 10th, maybe a little bit slower each lap. That tells you he's saving stuff up a little bit. We all know Alonso, if he really wants to push, he probably could run 22.2s right now, and they're in the 22.34 range right now.
Now, I know we're here with the InThePitsNews Truck Series, but the Juggernaut Truck Series, you guys are in. Ryan, you own the Juggernaut Truck Series. Alonso Chicano, from what I understand, he won that race in dominant fashion.
Yeah, I would have picked him for my race winner, but you called dibs on him prior to this race, so I got to witness him kicking people's butt for 250 laps last week, so.
The Juggernaut Truck Series is the same thing as what we see here, full distance truck league. A lot of people that are here tonight are a part of that league as well. So Alonso, he's no stranger to the trucks. He's no stranger to the lane. He's definitely proven that last week was no fluke, and he wants to go get himself another one here. He's starting to kind of really get a little bit of a distance between himself and Felver. Meanwhile, Weinland, he is continuing to hound Felver. Like you guys kept saying, tires are very important. I wonder, you got to think Felver had learned something in that first run that he's using now. Maybe made a little bit of an adjustment that's going to help himself longer in the runs. It looks like we're going to see a lot of longer runs here tonight. Only one caution, which has been for the stage break, so we've had no cautions for incidents.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how Carl tuned on his truck and adapted his driving style to make it through another 70 lap run. As we see the leaders starting to catch up on the 23 truck and put him another definitely long runs, but Chicano's proved that he's got the truck on the long runs and he can save. So we're gonna see how it unfolds.
I'm still watching the lap times here, and it's amazing to see. You see Alonso, he has predominantly clean air besides the lap car up in front of him, but he's still running like a tenth or two slower than the two guys behind him. And it tells you this man he knows he's in lead. He has full control over the pace of the race they go. So once he's ready to up the pace, he can go, and he's been saving and conserving since.
Clean air is so important. I feel like almost every track we go to, but especially here in the truck or in the short tracks, in the trucks. You know, when you're back there in traffic and everybody's got different driving styles and their truck's set up different, you know, everybody gets into the corner a little bit different, and you gotta keep adapting your own driving style to that. So some of those lap times deeper in the field aren't really indicative of how good their trucks are. Maybe they just don't have the track position, but that clean air is king. Like the 21 of Eric Weinland's fighting a loose condition. Maybe he's driving on that right rear a little too much. Oh,
fell over into the wall.
Hit the wall, and I don't know what happened there. Was it a connection issue, maybe?
Showing he is out.
Man, you hate that for Carl. I think he had a similar thing happen.
Yeah, throughput issue. Yeah, throughput issue at Juggernaut this past week. And that's what we're kind of waiting to see here, if that's what happens.
Watching on the replay here, he just...
See Eric Weinland, he's driven up here to Alonso Chicano.
Yep, throughput.
It's unfortunate. I'd be getting the internet service provider on the phone and asking them why I'm having all these issues if I was him. Here's making their way around the 72 truck. Tim Hendry. Tim Hendry looks like he's got his hands full here tonight.
Well, that takes out one of the people we've seen closest to Alonso this entire race.
Well, why don't we do a little turn it up?
Wait, we have a spin on the front stretch. Car in the grass.
If we get a caution for that.
No, it looks like you see it inside the grass. 23 truck it seems.
That is the 23 of Richard Chidester. Safely getting him back up onto track.
Weiland's showing some speed back here behind Alonso Chicano. He's searching around the track, I think looking for a little bit better line, trying to drive a little straighter off the corner in Diamond 1 and 2. Really cutting that truck down low off of 4 and really getting it sideways. Can't imagine that's really helping him too much. Definitely better off at turn 2 than Chicano is right now. Yeah, he's really cutting that truck low down off of 4 and just scrubbing off all that ground he makes up in 1 and 2.
Take a look here through the helmet cam to really see what Weinland is seeing here.
Really running the opposite line of Chicano in 3 and 4.
Almost had lap trap truck trouble there. 72 got out of the way. Well, let's go ahead and go to turn it up.
It looks like Chicano's stretching that lead out again. Looks like on this run he's just even faster.
I mean, the closest competition we saw to him is went to the wall and then went to the grandstands.
Yeah. Hopefully Carl got a deal on some popcorn when he got up there.
Made the joke earlier of his internet cramping out. I didn't think it would actually happen today.
One of the perils of sim racing.
Carl,
We may not be able. Oh,
say Carl Felver is back out on track.
But
14 laps down. Definitely tough break for him. Running so well.
I don't think he's gonna get those laps back.
oh. Especially
We're
since
not. We're not on pace to get 14 cautions.
No. Looks like the only cautions tonight are going to be the stage breaks, which is going to set us up for a really, really long final stage, which, you know, seeing, Chicano and myself and a few others that ran 90 laps of or 80 laps of that final stage under green. It'll be interesting to see where these guys decide to pit, if that's the case, if they run green the entire way.
It looks like battle for third has about 4 trucks here, kind of all hanging together. It's going to be number 12, Cameron Caldwell, Alex Princeton, Chris Landrum, and Dakota Knoll. Kind of all hanging together all right here for the third position.
It seems that one of 2 average Joe Motorsports drivers don't have internet connection. With Chris Landrum being the other driver for average Joe Motorsports on the same team as Carl.
I really would have expected one of these 4 trucks to be up closer to Chicano and give him a bit more of a run for his money, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get some late cautions and they can mount a charge. But Caldwell seems like he's really got a handful.
Also, I would like to notify that we have our first retirement of the race. Zach Probst in the 62 truck has packed it up and is on to Kansas.
So, going back to Caldwell there, he does. He has a handful, and he's got a tailgate full of green deer right behind him. Alex Princeton, he's actually one of my drivers, PBR driver. He's smart. He will wait and try to pounce when he can. And like you were saying, Brian, kind of surprised that one of these four aren't a little bit closer to Alonso or Eric Weinland. Princeton, he likes to shine late in the race. He just, I almost feel as though he's kind of like a surprise later in the race. Like you don't see him, and then you get towards the end, and he's there, right up front, trying to compete for wins. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Alex Princeton up there with the top two at some point in this race.
Gonna say I was wondering if we're talking about the same Alex Princeton, because I had to pass him 5 times to pass him once in the middle of our race. So, but I agree. I think he's definitely, if we get a late caution, he's going to be one that I'm going to keep my eye on. And that's why I picked him at the start of this race.
Caldwell, he did get super loose there. They're going to make contact.
Oh,
around goes
Caldwell
Princeton.
Gets him back.
You just had to say something.
Oh, man. Well, it doesn't look like he's damaged up too much, but as we know about this damage model, any damage to the front, it can end up blowing your motor, if not right away, soon.
So it looked like might have been a little bit of netcode contact, and then they then got together, which resulted in Princeton actually spinning. Let's take a look at the replay. So yeah, Caldwell, he just couldn't gather it up.
Oh yeah, major netcode that got the 12 loose and kind of squirrely, and that ended up hitting Princeton from that.
Deal, I was surprised. I didn't see too many netcode incidents in the Juggernaut race, and not too many at Richmond in general. It seems like some tracks are a little more difficult than others when it comes to netcode. You get inside of that bubble near another car or another truck, and it's enough to send them. But I haven't seen one like that here at Richmond.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because when I raced you, I meant to send you at Richmond. I meant to hit you. There was no netcode there.
You hit me at Richmond?
I hit so many things at Richmond. I wouldn't be surprised if I hit you.
Oh, I was gonna say, I knew you were behind me at one point. I don't know if you hit me. I definitely hit Craig Fryer under caution. I don't even know what happened. We were getting ready to come take the green, and I wound up crunching my right front up. That made for a long second stage for me. Just a little bit of incidental contact, but yeah, it's definitely a track that, it's deceiving. I tell people, when you look at it, it looks like a track you can really just stand on the gas and just get around here, but you really can't. It's a driver's track, and you got to be careful because you can't get away from stuff here when it starts to happen.
So drivers involved in that caution are going to be Dakota Knoll, Chris Landrum, Alex Princeton, and Cameron Caldwell. Princeton, he's going to be in coming down pit road, get some damage fixed. And yeah, I'm really surprised here that we didn't see more drivers pit. Looks like the top 4 drivers stayed out. Weinland is going to be on fresh tires in 5th place.
Looks like they're saving another tire set because we got the stage caution about 40 and about 30 laps. So now they're probably just saving, because I believe there's only 4 tire sets for this race.
The tire game is definitely a tough one to play, especially if you end up with a lot of cautions, or even in this race where you get a caution in midway through the second stage of do you come and get a set, or do you just ride it out? Anybody that gets tires, they're going to be a hero, but you got to think about the end of the race.
You're going to see a large charge from the 73 and the 21 here on this freshies. They're going to be pushing.
Alonso Chicano, he gets on the gas pedal pretty early here, juicing the outside once again. Going to be all clear, and here comes Weinland. They're going to be 3 wide going into 1.
Still 3 wide. Still 3 wide. And we got
Landrum.
29 Landrum spinning.
He's going to save it. We're still green.
I told you these guys with the fresh tires can be quite a bit aggressive.
Mike Tellier with some issues.
07 to the back of the 73.
I mean, you can see that speed coming off with those new tires. Taking a shot at our leader, Alonso Chicano.
And Weinland is able to pass Chicano. So for the first time since Chicano took the lead on lap 2, I believe, we have a new leader in Eric Weinland.
This is kind of reverse what happened for us in the Juggernaut Truck Series. Alonso went with the opposite strategy in a stage that we had, where he was leading and pitted for tires, and then pushed his way all the way back up to the front, with the stage coming to an end shortly after the run. So interesting to see how he changed his thinking there and strategy.
Figures he already has 1 win at Richmond past, well, in trucks. Might as well try something different to see if he can rack himself up another one, but he's really not letting Eric Weinland go.
And the 73 nearly loses it on the front stretch.
It's really impressive how Chicano's been able to hang here with the old tires against the new tires. It just tells you how good his truck really is. The 7 will get a run here on Chicano. He's not going to put up too much of a fight.
And we have the best name in the house up to second.
Bacon Zelenka making his InThePitsNews Truck Series debut tonight.
I don't know if he's quite crispy bacon yet, but I'm pretty sure that bacon's cooking right now.
He is on a charge. Get up there with Eric Weinland.
Now you have to wonder, after this, when the stage ends, are these front guys that pitted for tires, are they going to pit here to stay, to keep that track position? Because I believe all these guys are going to pit here. Like Alonso's most likely going to pit. Alonso's definitely going to pit here. It just depends on some of the other guys that pit for tires. Are they conserving their stuff a little bit? Because they know they have to go. They're going to have to go a long way on these tires. They're going to have to go probably till halfway in this final stage.
Yeah, now they have four in the pits, so they took one at the end of stage 1, took one there. And that still leaves them another set halfway through the stage if they rubbered up here, right?
When they have to, they most likely we're gonna have to pit in the middle or some point. I'm pretty sure you can probably go to the final stage without pitting. Maybe. I think you can make it on fuel, but tire-wise, it's going to be miserable for the 100-plus laps it's going to be.
I know you can definitely make it on fuel because I was on the same strategy as Chicano, and before we got that last caution, I think with around 10 to go or 11 to go, I was still positive by 25 laps to the good on fuel. So you can definitely do it, but yeah, the tires are pretty hairy at that point. And then you got guys out there on new tires, and you're constantly checking your mirror and checking the running order because we don't have. Most of us don't have dedicated spotters to tell us, "Hey, let that guy go. He's on fresh tires. He's a lap behind you." So it can get pretty hairy out there when you start mixing different sets of tires late in the last stage.
Yeah, 2 go in the stage. Pit road is closed.
97 looking outside of Chicano.
So, last lap for the stage. Eric Weinland, he with a pretty good gap on Bacon Zelenka. I don't think that the 07 is going to be able to get to the 21. And off turn 4, Eric Weinland's going to win the stage, followed by Bacon Zelenka. Mike Tellier is going to claim 3rd spot. Alonzo Chicano 4th. Dakota Knoll 5th. Alex Princeton, despite being in that last caution, is going to claim 6th. Ryland Dewsberry making his debut tonight, getting 7th in that stage. Chris Landrum, Jeremy Boucher, and Cameron Caldwell will round out the top 10. So it doesn't look like, well, we know for sure nobody's going to be able to sweep the race. 2 different stage winners. Out of these 2 stage winners, who do you like the best? I mean, Alonzo Chicano, he's basically dominated, but here we're going to see Eric Weinland actually stay out.
You know, Chicano's still got an amazing long run truck, but the way this strategy plays out is going to be interesting. You know, if depending on when Weinland decides to pit, if there's cautions, if he's got to pit under green, if he's able to, and Chicano stays out with a lot of open track and not a lot of trucks, he could make up ground pretty quick on Chicano and force Chicano to pit, and by that time Chicano could end up behind the 8 ball. So it's going to be interesting to see how this strategy all plays out.
Well, let's go ahead and interview our Stage 2 winner, Eric Weinland. It's Josh in the JCTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Josh, I got you.
Well, first of all, congrats on the stage win, but, you know, was it kind of like, you know, you saw the top few stay out, so you decided to come and get tires, or were you just planning on coming in and getting tires whether or not they came or stayed out?
Should I reveal the tricks? No, I'm just kidding, Josh. No, we already have a win on the year, so the whole point there is to just maximize playoff points at this point. If we can snag another win, great, but I will gladly spend that extra set of tires we had to get ourselves just one more playoff point right there. And now making this choice under yellow should equal us back out that I can still rival Alonzo. He's looking like he's restarting in the top 5, but I think even on 20-lap old tires, we shouldn't fall too far away here.
So, assuming that, you know, we don't have any more yellows, and this race has been relatively clean, is this going to kind of play into a strategy to potentially go for a win? Or, you know, do you think Alonzo, he might just be able to get back up front and kind of run away with it?
Well, the win is still definitely on the table, Josh. You just got to play your cards right at this point. I know we're not in Vegas and we can't gamble, but no, at this point, I mean, with 105 to go, we're still looking like there's plenty of time for a wreck to happen or something. So getting the extra set of tires now versus back there during stage 2, I think it levels the playing field back out that we can still focus on the win at this point. And hopefully I'll be sitting in victory lane.
One last question here for you. So, lights on the pace truck are off, and you chose the bottom here. We've noticed that high line has really been the lane of choice. Why'd you choose the bottom here?
I'll let you see here on the restart, Josh.
Alrighty, well, good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
That was the number 21 of Eric Weinland, Stage 2 winner. Going to be interesting to see here how the bottom plays out, and if Bacon Slunka is able to get a good jump on the outside.
Well, we saw why.
Great jump by Eric Weinland.
A dirt track start there.
That was my start for my heat race at Bristol Dirt right there.
I think he has the right idea. He wants to get out and force Alonso to kind of use up his tires a bit to get to the front and maybe equalize out where they both are on tires.
Now Alonso, he is coming to the end.
He's wasting no time.
I was going to say to the inside of Ryland Dewsberry, but by the time I was about to say it, he was already cleared. Now he's to the inside of Bacon Slunka for second place.
Now, if you're Eric, how aggressive are you with him? You know he's much faster. Are you
We got a
defending?
spin off of 2, the 73 truck. Bring us under caution. You know, I think to your point, Ryan, and now that we've got a caution, you know, Eric's going to control the start here, so Alonso can't necessarily make the jump on him, but he can really make the start difficult for Eric. And yeah, I think Eric has to, you know, maybe just let Chicano go, realize that he's going to be a lot faster, and you know, you don't want to make any more enemies out here than you have to, because it is a short track and late in a race. The bump and run is still on the table.
So that was Jeremy Boucher spinning out there, and he did collect Cameron Caldwell just a little bit there. Caldwell down pit road, probably to assess the damage. Doesn't look like he is taking any tires or on this stop. So now I'm curious to see here. You've got Chicano in second place. He has 21 laps pressure tires, not necessarily with hard racing on them, but your Weinland, do you choose the inside or the outside? Seems kind of committed to the inside there, but I think at this rate, the outside might be a better bet to try to get the jump and get a straighter entry into turn 1.
I think with the amount of laps that Eric already has on tires, granted, like you said, it's not that much. It's no matter what lane you're in, you're going to get passed by 3 and 4. Maybe that lap, maybe the initial start lap, or the lap after, but no matter what lane, and you're going to get passed with with the fresher tires that Alonso has.
These lights on the pace truck are still on. I think we might get 1 to green next time by.
We have 2 retirees now. We have Tim Hendry has packed it up and parked in the garage, and Jeremy Boucher, who was involved in the last accident, has called it quits and put his car in the garage and is out for the remainder of the race.
Alonso stays with him in 1 and 2 here. I think he rolls the outside really good and is on the outside of him coming down the back. Not going green yet.
So lights are off, and it does seem as though Eric is committed to staying on the bottom.
Yeah, I think if Chicano can keep on that right rear quarter panel, it's going to make Eric's entry and cornering through 1 and 2 extremely difficult, and goes back to what Ryan and I were talking about in the beginning. Chicano is just going to be able to control how the inside lane runs and probably overtake Eric here.
He waits a little bit there, gets back on the gas. It's going to allow Bacon Zelenka to be side by side with Chicano, so maybe not a bad idea there for Eric, kind of force them to be side by side, but advantage Chicano now. Chicano is clear.
Yeah, that was an excellent restart there by Eric to really kind of catch Chicano sleeping at the wheel, and it doesn't take much. I mean, it's a split second, it's a millisecond between when the leader goes and you go, and it can mean a whole bunch of distance going into the first corner.
Weinland a little loose off turn 4. That's going to do nothing but help Chicano there. Kind of hurt Eric. Still a couple truck lengths in between Weinland and Chicano. Chicano with a better exit that time. Weinland not so squirrely on exit, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Here comes Chicano. Almost quite there at the bumper, but not enough to show it to him. Chicano pounding down on Weinland.
Give him that little love tap, like, hey, I'm here, man. I'm here. Just letting you know. Have fun, but I'm going to pass you, so stay tuned.
And all the while, Dakota Knoll, he is on the same tire strategy as Alonso Chicano here. And he's in the picture. So the more that Chicano is behind Weinland, it's going to help Dakota Knoll. Weinland, though, is going to have to go to the outside, really keeping Chicano down, pinched on that yellow line. So I'm actually surprised. I thought that was going to be the pass right there, but Weinland was able to pinch Chicano down just enough to be able to keep that position.
I'll tell you, back a little further in the field, Caldwell's trying to recover from his issues, and he's driving back into the top 5 now.
So Weinland once again driving into turn 1 wide and getting a great exit off that's really keeping Chicano behind him. I just can't imagine that that's going to work too many more times. Chicano, he's actually going to go to the outside in 1-2 that time.
He's got him on the inside this lap.
Side by side. Weinland is not letting him fight off, but I feel like this is where he gets him. Chicano is going to be clear now. So Dakota Knoll
right there.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get around Weiland very quickly if he wants to stay up there with Chicano and battle his teammate for that lead.
A little friendly jibber jabber between the two competitors.
Looked like there might have been a little bit of contact there. Dakota Knoll just giving the bumper, little bump and run.
Speaking of Dakota, I'm kind of impressed with him tonight. I mean, he's been up and down throughout his entire field, been able to recover pretty well, sitting third right now in good position. He struggled last week in the Juggernaut. He finished 18th and didn't have an overall great race. And now he's come here and he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, Dakota actually started 16th place tonight. Worked his way up.
Be a candidate for our biggest mover of the race. But that's good to see Dakota having a good run there, and I think to what you and I were talking about, Ryan, you know, guys that ran in that race, you know, they got a leg up and able to tune on their trucks a little bit and get them working better here tonight.
I will say with fresher tires, Eric Weinland is not making it easy for Dakota.
No, he's not.
This what I was talking about. Dakota Knoll really wanting to get around Eric Weinland as quickly as possible, because the more and more he stays behind Weinland, the more and more Chicano's just going to be able to easily pull away from these two. Knoll actually goes to the outside here. He's going to look for a great exit off the corner rather than a good entry, and still not quite enough to be able to be there side by side going into 3, but he's starting to experiment a lot. Caldwell, he's not too far out of the picture either.
So hard to get that horsepower down to those rear tires coming off without wheel spin and kicking it sideways. So Dakota's really searching to kind of set up his exit.
Tell you what, really, with the exception of Chicano, it's like Radius Racing guys have had a very interesting race to say the least, but if they're able to get around Weinland, Radius Racing will have the top 3. Chicano, Knoll, and Caldwell.
Yeah, and Caldwell's is recovering pretty nice. He's been involved. He got in the wall early in the race. It seemed like he was able to fix that damage. And he was also involved in a couple other incidents earlier in the race. He's recovering back all the way nice to 4th.
So if you're Dakota Knoll here, you got 78 laps to go, but you see your teammate and probably the most favorite to win this race, and Alonso Chicano just pulling away. When do you say you've had enough of this and maybe really try to give a bump or two Weinland to try a bump and run?
Heck, I do it now.
I mean, I feel like if you're showing the guy a good nose over and over again, and he's not conceding the position, I'd give him a small tap and see, or help him get into the corner a little harder than he wants, and see if I can get by him.
All I got is it's send it season, man.
Rubbin is racing. As long as he doesn't do a dump and run here on Weinland, personally, I don't think there'd be really any issue with it. Weinland, he's a smart driver, clean driver, but he'll race you pretty hard as well.
And it's hard here on this track to run right in somebody's tire tracks, like we see Dakota Knoll doing, just because of the different driving styles and setups of how guys get down into the corners. I'm almost surprised they haven't had more incidental contact already.
Yeah, it's if you're Dakota Knoll, you have to be showing patience here. It can be frustrating. You know you have the fresher tires. You know you're faster than him. You want to get by him. He's doing a good job at showing patience, though, and that patience is going to be key as far as trying to save tires. But it is frustrating being right there in the tire tracks and just trying to pass him cleanly and not able to do it.
Thought the patience was about to run out there on the back straightaway.
Yeah,
he was right up on him. And
I think I say, no matter what patience will run out. You can only be patient for so long before it's like, okay, I'm done with you.
I think he can pick up a run here. If he can keep the tires under it, he should have a solid run going into one.
Here we go.
There we go. Patience ran out.
Weinland's still right there. Not enough, though.
Got a good enough exit to carry the momentum into this corner. I think Weiland probably Weiland had a great entry into that. Is able to stay side by side with him going at F4.
I think right here is where you definitely want to have somebody cleared in order to pass them, because it is so hard to clear on the inside of 3 and 4. Weinland, he is so hard to pass. One of the cleanest guys you can race, but he is so hard to pass. And Dakota Knoll, he was so close within a fender, or a bumper rather, of having Weinland cleared. Weinland was able to power on the outside to retake second place.
Another retiree, Alec Princeton, has called it a day.
It's like my pick's out now too. It's like Josh is the only one that still has the dog in the fight.
I was going to say, Dakota Knoll, he got super loose off the exit of 4 there, got to the inside of Weinland, but go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say, by default, Josh wins this driver's prediction.
So last year, I don't remember what track we were at, but we were just finishing up a race, and I said next week is Bristol, and I'm giving my pick to win right now of who I think is going to win Bristol. And I said right then and there, Alonso Chicano was my pick to win. Alonso had started to go through a little kind of a tiny rough patch for a few races, so I chose Chicano because I was like, it's time for him to get another win. He's already got a couple wins under his belt this season. I think it's time for him to get another win. He's tired of these rough races that he's had. So I chose Chicano exactly 1 week before Bristol. What did he do? He went out and he won Bristol. When I found out that I was going to be broadcasting this race tonight, immediately my thought was, I'm choosing Alonso Chicano to win. And Alonso, he is proving exactly why I make bold predictions way before the race even starts. We still have 62 laps to go. Anything can happen, Alonso, he's definitely strong, and it'd be awesome to see him get another win. But again, 62 laps to go. Anything can happen here.
I mean, when our last race, me and Brian saw it first person. When you lead 144 laps and no one was within 2 seconds of you, yeah, you're the favorite to win here. Also, I like to forget that Bristol race. Terrible assessment management by the admins on that that race, man. Horrible. Who could do such a thing? Did I mention I was the admin last year during that whole thing? Anyway.
Yeah, oh, truck in the wall.
Right in front of Caldwell.
23. Just not been having a very good night. Richard Chidester, he is wanting this race to be over. He is 11 laps down.
Sorry, looks like Weiland's coming in the pit. Looks like he's going to do it. He's going to pit during this part of the race and hope that this whole the shortcut, if Alonso stays out the entire session, works for him. I believe there's a chance, but I don't believe it's a high chance that he can come back and win this race. I think he could finish decent, but a win I think is out of the cards with this strategy.
So Eric is still on track, has not come down to pit road.
Oh, maybe that was a miscue then? Just hitting the wrong button.
But we do have somebody on pit road, Bacon Zelenka.
Oh no, here comes Eric at Weinland. I tried the strategy. I finished outside the top 10 and 1 lap down. As you know, I think I finished 10th.
Hey, you finished, I think, 3 or 4 spots better than me, so.
I like to thank Mason Lowry for that. Appreciate it, Mason.
Bacon Zelenka, he is off and away from his pit cycle there. Eric Weinland taking his tires.
This was the exact time I pitted during this whole part of this stage. I thought 195 lap 200 is when I want to pit, because you don't want to pit too late because you're not. It's a short track, so these laps go by very, very fast. So you're not gonna have. I think we have a wreck on the front.
We do, and caution is out. It is the 23 of
and
Richard Chidester.
That's going to help Eric Weinland huge here. He's going to get his lap back. It looks like he's the first car lap down.
That won't help him because that gives the guys in front of him a chance to pit. And since he's the first car lap down, he gets a lucky dog, gets sent to the back anyway.
Ooh.
So this doesn't help him.
So it looks like Richard Chidester hit the wall off exit and then turned left and got into Mike Tellier. And so that actually brought, or took Tellier out as well. It's not a good night for Richard. Radius Racing guys struggling a lot as well.
I'm pretty sure if your name's not Alonso Chicano, you struggled tonight.
That is true.
Heck, I've struggled here in the broadcast booth. I'm pretty sure Alonso Chicano is the only one who hasn't struggled here tonight.
Well, let's go ahead and bring in. Go ahead and bring in the driver of number 12. Cameron Caldwell. It's Josh and Jason TV. We've got a copy.
Yes, sir.
Well, Radius Racing has had, other than Alonso Chicano, Radius Racing's not really had the best of luck tonight, but still having good racing positions. You know, showing strong late in a race. Tell us really how your race has been going.
Well, if you see the front of my truck, that kind of tells the story, you know. I don't know. I've been down power since middle of stage 2, I think. So I've just been kind of riding. I didn't really want that caution, but at the same time, it's kind of nice. I can't take off on short runs anymore, so I'm probably gonna lose some spots. But Landon was running me down. I just want to get a podium here with my other teammates, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, like you said, we've all had pretty bad luck this race, but still got a ways to go, so I hope we can turn around.
Well, now that all three of you guys, Dakota Knoll, Alonso Chicano, and yourself are up to the top 3. Now, Chicano, he has been the most dominant driver in this race, but he's going to be behind both you and Knoll. Do you think that there's a possibility that between you and Dakota Knoll, you might be able to hold him off and maybe even take a win for yourself?
Definitely not. He's way too fast, especially if we go green to the end. It's over for us. He's going to probably blow by us on this restart, and he's going to be gone from there. So, I don't know. I don't think we got anything. I think Eric might have something, but he seems to fall off later in the run, and now he was a lap down, so he's going to be in the back. So, I think this is Alonso's race to lose at this point, unless something drastic happens here.
I do have a question. So you've tapped the wall tonight. You've been hit in the back. You've been hit in the front. You've been hit in the right side. Is there any plans to get the left side damage to just kind of finish the car out tonight? Dude.
Well, I might get it here on this restart if I get used up. So I might do that for you.
And granted, none of them have been to your own fault. I watched the incidents, and not any knock on you whatsoever. Just something funny, I thought.
All right, well, we'll let you get back up there. Good luck. That was the driver of the number 12, Cameron Caldwell. We're back under green, so great restart there by Dakota Knoll. And that's going to allow Caldwell to keep second place, Chicano in third. I'm actually surprised Caldwell went immediately down to the bottom, side by side for the lead between Caldwell and Knoll.
Knoll on the wall a little bit there.
It's like Chicano.
It's like Chicano's just trying to figure out which way to go.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He was following behind Dakota Knoll, but oh, he got loose there, saving it. But that's gonna send him back to third place after just taking second from Dakota Knoll.
He's gonna have to ginger that right rear tire for a few laps because I find when you get that car sideways like that, the car's just gonna keep getting more and more sideways unless you baby it for a little bit.
You'll have to tiptoe if your truck's set up for the long run like Chicano's is. Those first couple of laps, you gotta let the truck do the work and not put a lot of input into it.
Oh, look who's right behind Alonso.
I noticed a little bit of right front damage on the hood of Alonso Chicano. He's able to get by his teammate Dakota Knoll pretty easily there. I wonder if it's kind of a team call. Dakota Knoll just kind of pulled to the side and let it happen. Especially with Eric Weinland starting to come back into the picture very quickly here. Let's go ahead and take another turn it up.
waiting up for the lead.
Kind of watching Eric Weinland here. He's trying to get back up to Alonso, but he's kind of just stuck behind. No, it's kind of a little bit of a role reversal here from our previous green flag run.
Shooting to the inside now. Washes up a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Noel is going to let him by as easily as he let his teammate Chicano by. But Weinland, he is able to clear Dakota Noel, so third place for Eric Weinland. Meanwhile, Alonso Chicano, he is ever so slightly just creeping up to that tailgate of Cameron Caldwell, our race leader.
Cameron's holding strong. Oh,
Well,
did not get off of turn 4 very well. I gotta stop talking about Cam every time I talk about him, something bad happens to him.
Still getting a little bit of loose. He's getting the gas down pretty hard, but now we see Alonso Chicano back in control of this race. 34 laps to go out of the scheduled 250. You know, this has been a pretty good race we've had tonight. You know, only 17 trucks entered the race, but you know, a lot of times when you have a lower number, a race with a lower number of drivers in it, sometimes they can produce some really good races despite not being a big field. And we've seen really a lot of good racing going on tonight.
Definitely some good racing. A little bit of a contrast as far as the number of cars that we had in the Juggernaut race. I think, you know, as that race stretched on and we had long green flag runs, it didn't matter where you were running on the track. You were around somebody, and you were constantly having to be up on the wheel. So a little different tonight, but nonetheless a good show. It's just Chicano's just been the class of the field tonight.
Caldwell got into the wall a little bit there.
Right now, just we're kind of seeing if Weinland can get to Alonso, and that's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. So this, especially with the pace Alonso has shown this entire night.
Yeah, Alonso would have to have serious fall off in order for Weinland to run him down under green, and we just haven't seen that happen with Chicano all night. Track position, clean air, it's key here, and without a late caution, I don't know if anybody's going to have anything for Chicano.
Now, looking back through the field here, just want to give a little shout out here. Ryland Dewsberry, he's making his InThePitsNews Truck Series debut tonight. He's running 5th place, and you know, both him and Bacon Zelenka, I believe they are teammates. Both of them have ran pretty well. Bacon Zelenka currently P10, 1 lap down. But, you know, they have had a pretty good debut tonight. You know, maybe not quite what they wanted as far as, you know, going up and being able to win or challenge for the lead consistently. But, you know, both these drivers there, between the 07 and 7, they have had a pretty good race tonight.
And let me tell you about Ryland Dewsberry. He's had no doozy of a day, starting 11th and getting his way up into the top 5.
definitely see what you did there.
Yeah, it's hard to come in and run these, you know, first ones out of the gate. I remember my first ones last year, you know, coming in late in the season, joining the league, and you know, when you're not used to running races this long and with stages and no fast repairs, it takes a little bit to get used to. You gotta settle in. You gotta take what your truck can give you and no more, and really log laps. So hats off to those guys coming in here and just running a fairly clean race and having a good showing.
Yeah. You know, as far as in this series, I've ran one truck race myself. It was last year. I was able to find somebody to take over the controls of Jason TV for a weekend, and I just heard somebody get into the wall. I don't see anything on my relative, but as I was saying, I really wanted to race with these guys. I see them race every week. I want to see how, what it was like to go up against them. So I actually made a start in Texas, and it was tough. I had a blast doing the race that I did, but it was tough. So, this league has definitely changed a lot since even when I raced with these guys last year in Texas. But for guys like as we see here, Weiland being top 5 right now, that's nothing to sneeze at. He's definitely put up a solid day.
And it's neat with these series and all the different types of tracks that we go to. There's really something for everybody. And when you go to tracks that maybe you're not as good at, it forces you to get better. For me, actually, 1.5 miles are not my strong suit, especially long runs, and I've had to really put in a lot of time to get better there. And I still don't think that I'm where I need to be there to contend for wins. But some of these smaller technical tracks I've found myself to be a little bit better at. But it's nice when you have new guys coming in and putting in the time and having good runs.
And with these tracks, we go so many different types of tracks. We go to these short tracks. We go to, like you said, the 1.5 mile intermediate. We have the super speedways. We have road courses, and heck, we even have dirt. We have we scheduled for 2 dirt races this year. Bristol Dirt having already happened, and then we'll be back in Knoxville over the summer. I'm looking forward to that, man. Knoxville is such a fun track to drive. It's gonna be very difficult with it being a flat dirt track compared to what we had at Bristol Dirt.
I'm definitely a guy out of his element on dirt, and you joked about hitting everything at Richmond last week. I'm pretty sure I hit everyone and everything while we were on the dirt at Bristol, and I did good in my heat race, but long runs, I just don't have the dirt experience that some of you guys, other guys do, and but it's still fun. It forces you to learn and advance your driving skills, and that's what this is all about. It's about having fun, being competitive, and enhancing your skills.
Battle for second here. Eric Weinland, he is caught up to Cameron Caldwell. Not really putting a move on Caldwell just yet. They're coming up to 14 laps to go, though. So if Weinland had any shot at trying to catch Chicano, he'd have to go now and try to get around Caldwell very, very quickly. And he actually is making the move to the inside. Caldwell, though, able to power on the outside. So he's not even going to be side by side going in turn 1.
heard Cam Caldwell say he might be down a little bit on power, but sometimes on these short tracks, that being down a little bit on power can help you corner a little bit better, and I think that might be what's holding Eric Weinland up here, is Cam just getting through the corners a little bit better with being underpowered, but you can see Eric really picking up the pace here to the inside.
Great job executing there, entering a little higher. They might have made just a tad bit of contact. That's going to send Caldwell up the track a little bit. Still side by side at the line. Caldwell with the advantage. Not really sure what happened there, but Caldwell with the advantage on the outside is what I was going to say. But Weinland, he is able to clear Caldwell. And he had a very tight spot to try to squeeze into between the number 21 and the 99 of Carl Felber.
If Felder was one of the top cars in this race earlier, it's kind of a shame that we didn't get to see how he was going to finish this race out. Maybe if he was able to finish this race out, he would have been up there for the win with Alonso and give him a little bit more of a fight than we've seen him through the rest of the race.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed to see that, you know, basically two guys just pulled away from the rest of the field very early on, being Felber and Chicano. But Eric Weinland, I mean, you guys already said it. You didn't think he was going to have enough time to catch Chicano, not without a caution happening. And Chicano, he's Weinland rather. He's got a 3.5 second gap to make up in 7 laps. So
Not going to happen without a caution here.
definitely not going to happen.
Yeah, the biggest thing here tonight is I'm just really happy for these guys that they were able to get their race in, and you know, Ryan and I talk about, you know, having the Juggernaut League that we're in full time, but and some folks might say, you know, they're rival leagues. They're really not. I think, you know, any league that gives everybody the opportunity to get out there and race is a good thing, and I think we all. Ryan and I are here. We're supporting these guys, being in the booth, and you know, just bring attention to these guys. And we know that the ones that come over and race with us are doing the same thing.
And fun fact, the Juggernaut Truck Series was actually the original Galaxy Truck Series as well. So both of these two leagues have that in common, where they're both the Galaxy Truck Series in some way. So, yeah, definitely, you know, I don't see a rivalry between the two, just a couple of different places for people to come and have fun. 2 different nights during the week, and definitely fun places to race. You know, you're going to have a lot of competition that you know, basically fun for, you know, the back, I don't want to call them back riders, but, you know, the guys that don't necessarily ride up front.
White flag is in the air. I was wondering how hard Cameron Caldwell would race his teammate Dakota Knoll for that 3rd spot, and I got the answer when Dakota got the run, a little bit of a run, and Caldwell just said nope, went down low and blocked off the run.
Well, off turn 4, Alonso Chicano, he is going to win another race. Claim the victory at Richmond Raceway.
Just a dominating win by Chicano. I really really would have liked to see some guys give him a little bit more of a run, especially ones that had run the previous race and tune on their stuff. But maybe Chicano tuned on his even more and got it even better.
And he's going to take another victory lap around the track with some on-track action going on the front stretch, so impeded Chicano from doing celebrations that time, but he's back on the front stretch and about to burn it down. Taking Polish victory lap. Done by, originally by Alan Kulwicki. I believe it was at Phoenix Raceway. First place that happened. Well, before we get into post-race interviews, let's go ahead and go down our final unofficial race finish. Alonso Chicano coming home first. Eric Weinland, he will take second place. Cameron Caldwell, rough night for him, but he's going to be coming home in third place. Dakota Knoll, fourth place. Good run for him. And Chris Landrum in fifth. Brian?
Yeah, in sixth place, we've got Ryland Dewsberry in his debut. Coming home in seventh, Dave Fuge Jr. Excellent run there. Mike Tellier came home in eighth. Saw some speed out of him early. Comes home to an eighth place finish. Ninth place, Bacon Zelenka, as self-coined by Ryan, best name in the league. And rounding out the top 10, we've got Dylan Stipe in the 14 truck. Ryan?
Rounding out the remaining of the field, we have the 13 truck of Graham Langkamp, finishing in 12th. 23 of Richard Chester, my apologies. Finishing 13th, one of the strongest trucks in the field until a faulty internet. Carl Felver, followed by 16th of Alex Princeton. 14th of Alex Princeton, followed by Jeremy Brochet in the 73 truck, finishing 15th. Zach Probst in 16th, and Tim Hendry in 17th.
Looks like they're lining up for an F1 podium finish at the start-finish line.
Well, let's go ahead and go down to victory lane with our winner. Dominating race overall for Alonso Chicano. I'm not even sure if officially or unofficially how many laps Alonso led tonight, but it was a lot of laps, Alonso. You come home the winner. Quite a very familiar sight on JCTV.
Yeah, had a really great race. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone at Radius Racing for great truck, great setup, great teammates as always. I'd like to thank everyone at Grid for being our sponsor. Just had a really awesome truck. It's not often that you feel that you can come in and probably lead every single lap if you had to.
Yeah, Alonzo, great run tonight. This is Brian Haynes. You had that dominating run in the Juggernaut League, and I really thought that some of the guys that came over from there, coming over here, would tune on their stuff a little bit more, and maybe they did, and maybe you tuned on yours even more. But really looked like your truck. You really didn't have to overdrive it. You just kind of ease her into the corner and let the truck do the work.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't touch a thing from last week. I figured it was just great as I could get. Really, the only thing is sometimes it wants to behave a little bit behind the truck in the dirty air, but you really can't let the truck do what it wants to do and get tight to spin out. So if you hold a steady wheel and you don't mess with the tires too much, then I feel like I could get around these guys, and as soon as I was ahead of them, I was gonna make it really hard for them to pass me back.
Excellent work out there tonight. We'll look forward to seeing you out there at Kansas.
Yeah, thank you.
That was race winner Alonzo Chicano. Let's go ahead and bring in our second place finisher, Eric Weinland. Great run overall tonight for you, Eric. You we're on a little bit of a different strategy than everybody else. Did come down pit road, and that caution came out. How much were you kicking yourself for pitting and then having that caution come out?
It wasn't optimal, Josh. It wasn't what I had planned in my head. I knew the risk was there, so taking that stop, you always, you got to plan for that risk versus benefit, risk versus reward bit, and it just happened to bite us the wrong way. Silver lining, it still left us the first truck one lap down, so we were still able to come back on a lucky dog, and still be able to get a decent finish out of it. But I probably would have liked to see circumstances be different, see what would have happened. I know Lady Luck was on our side in stage 2, just trying to play that hand here in the final stage. Just didn't quite work out for us tonight.
Well, you did make a comment when we had interviewed you earlier that you already have the win under your belt. Just mainly going for those playoff points now. Is it something that we can expect from you more often, to really try something off the table and see if by chance it can put you in a position to win? You do have the opportunity to experiment with the rest of the races leading up to the playoffs.
Yeah, the win back at Las Vegas certainly helps. It gives us the ability to basically do whatever we feel would be a great call. Doesn't necessarily mean I'll always be the contrarian, but I think it's more so a situational thing. But just having that relief is a great thing, because you're not bound up and worrying too much about points battles and making sure you're in the right positions come these last, I believe, 9 races we have left till playoffs.
Well, do you have any sponsors or team shout-outs you'd like to give? Who gets it done for you?
Just basically thanks to InThePitsNews for being the sponsor of the series. So they ride on the windshield banner of most of our trucks here. Got some new guys tonight. We'll have to get them updated with some stuff. But a huge shout out to Clutch Drop being the new affiliate of the In the Pits News Truck Series. Unfortunately, Galaxy has shut its doors, but it's given us a new beginning with Clutch Drop, and some other guys have come over. And so far, just based off tonight, I like the look of the competition, and I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the season, Josh.
Alrighty, well, good job on second place, and hopefully we'll have things back on JCTV here soon in the future and be able to talk to you some more.
Alrighty, Josh. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks. Good run, Eric.
Yeah, good job.
That was Eric Weinland, driver of the number 21, coming home second place. And now we got our third place finisher, Mr. Cameron Caldwell, driver of the number 12 truck tonight. Cameron, you had, again, an up and down night, as we already talked about, but you were able to come home third. Great finish overall. I mean, you have to be satisfied with that overall.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I talked to you guys earlier, I thought I was going to fall through the field after that caution came out, and instead went out and took the lead for a little bit. That was really cool. I felt like I probably could have held it for a little bit longer, but I got loose off of 4 and allowed Alonso to get to my outside, and that's all she wrote. But yeah, I'm really happy I got a top 3 out of that. I need some points now that I'm going to be running this series more often. Yeah, it's a good point today, I think.
Yeah, Cameron, this is Brian. I'm a little disappointed in you. I thought you were going to be you were one of my picks to be up there earlier in the race and give Chicano a run for his money, but definitely you had a lot of adversity to overcome. So it was impressive to see you up there at the end and really helping to put on a show, take the lead there, make it at least a little bit harder on Chicano. Yeah,
that was the whole goal. Honestly, I knew like if I just let him go, he's just going to take off. So I want to make it a little bit of a challenge for him. But yeah, I don't know. He has had the long run pace. Even last week he did, and I knew that coming in. So I was hoping I figured it out. I got new pedals last week, and so I kind of put the blame on that. But now I'm used to them. I still have nothing for him. I've never really been good at long runs in the first place, but I feel like I might be a little bit better tonight. But I think I was better than last time I raced, but he was still obviously class of the field. So yeah, I don't know. I think there are probably 2 other trucks that probably could have given it a shot, Eric and Carl, and obviously Carl had that incident early in the race, and Eric got off strategy, and it didn't work out for him in the end. But I'm glad we got a race, truck in victory lane. That's really cool. It's the second one of the season, so hopefully we can keep racking up wins like that.
Yeah, good run for you guys, and it was a pleasure to be up here and support you guys in the booth.
Thanks for helping us out. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And one last thing, Cam. Any sponsors or team shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, so obviously the whole team, Radius Racing, they all worked together today and last week on the setup, and we all seemed to run pretty good. Most of us kind of got caught up in incidents tonight, but some of us still rallied up through the field. And I'd like to give a shout out to my dad and my grandparents, who I think are still watching. So they've tuned in all the races that have been broadcast that I've been running. And I forgot to mention my grandparents in the last interview I had, which is at Daytona and the duels for Galaxy Cup. So I want to make sure I got them in this time. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Oh, and also thanks to all of our sponsors on the team.
Alrighty, well, good job with third place, man. It's always good to see you doing so well, and hopefully we'll be able to get more interviews with you.
Yep, thanks guys.
Thanks, man. Good run.
Fair enough.
That was Cameron Caldwell, driver of the number 12, owner of this series as well. Well, guys, I mean, that about does it for us. I think it was an exciting race overall. I definitely enjoyed it. A lot of good racing going on. I don't think. I mean, Alonso Chicano, he looked like he was going to run away with it, and he did. But I really don't think that you could necessarily predict it all too well, as we saw Carl Felver and Eric Weinland really, be up there with Alonso Chicano. So I'm not 100% sure that really it could have been 100% predictable.
Yeah, it was a really good race and a good comeback for these guys after last week, and I think that their new association with Drop Clutch will pay off, and they can fill out the field even more. But I think for those of us in the Juggernaut series, and if we end up running any of these races, we definitely got to go back to the garage and take a look at the notes and figure out what we got to do to be competitive with Alonso Chicano when we come to these short tracks.
He's the past champion for a reason. That's all I got on him. That says it all.
Alrighty, well, I think that's gonna do it for from us. It was, once again, it was a really good, great race tonight that we saw. Congrats once again to Alonso Chicano on the win. Thanks to Brian Haynes and Ryan Samuelson for joining me in the booth. Always good to have you in the booth with me, Ryan, and it was fun with you in the booth, Brian. First time, so maybe we can have that happen some more. But
Thanks for having us.
yeah, not a problem at all. So on behalf of everybody at the InThePitsNews Truck Series and Ryan and Brian, I'm Josh Coppernell, and stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.